Hello, welcome to Steve McDonald Crafting, and what I'm going to be doing today is making another box out of these envelopes that come from Amazon, and they're really useful for this because they're not corrugated, which makes them nice and easy to cut. I then trim it up, and then I cut the sizes that I want. My first job is now to stick these together before I construct the box, and the reason I do that is because this cardboard is a little bit thin, but by gluing two of them together you get a real nice, really secure piece of card. And all I use for this is some white glue, school glue, Elmer's glue, PVA glue, put them together. And you can use a brush for this, or I've got a little silicone thing here that'll do it as well. I just smear the glue around so it's everywhere, and then I just put them together, make sure they're all nicely lined up like that, and then I just put a weight on them until they're dry. They don't take long to dry, probably about half an hour. I've got this that I made with some resin that I didn't like that was sent to me, so I just put it into a little pot and I just pop it on there like that. These are all dry now, and because I put a weight on them, they've dried nice and flat and they're ready to glue together. And all I'm going to use to glue these together with is my lovely cordless hot glue gun. Don't forget, I will link everything that I've used, all the tools and equipment that I've used today, in the description below. And how I'm going to glue them together is I'm going to glue them, even though it will give a little corner, I'm going to glue them onto the edges like this of the base. I don't mind that the corners aren't going to be neatly touching together like this, because I'm going to be putting on something around the outside of this to decorate it up with. Run a bead of glue along this edge and then glue them onto the base. I love making these boxes because it really is upcycling and reusing stuff that would just be wasted cardboard, and they look always so good when they're finished, I think. And they make great gifts for people, and they're really easy to make. All you need is a sharp knife to cut them out with, or you can cut the card out on the Cricut. And now I just need to glue these sides together, and all I'm going to do is just run a little bead of glue along these sides. Now I've got quite asbestos fingers. This glue does get quite hot, so I would be careful if you're doing what I'm doing here and running your fingers down it. So that's that one done, and now I'm just going to do exactly the same with what will be the lid, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Well, that's all glued together now, and the lid fits nicely onto the base like that, and we're going to put a hinge and a little clasp on this as well. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is cover it in scraps of brown paper, and I'll be using a white glue for this. All I'm doing is popping on a bit of the white glue, going over, overlapping it, and then I will let that dry up, and gives you a great base to be able to paint on as well. And this is just the empty packaging, again, upcycling or recycling cardboard and paper that comes with Amazon stuff. Well, this is now dry, and as you can see, the lid and the bottom fit on lovely and close. So what I now need to do is pop on some hinges. I actually do want the hinges to be seen on this box and the clasp. So what I'm going to do, or what I've done, is I've lined the box around the edge here with some of these lolly sticks. I just cut them down to size and then glued them on, and that means that gives me enough there to be able to screw into the clasp and the hinges. And the reason I've done this is because I'm going to also put some feet on this box that I think will really look nice. Well, now the box is all sorted out and I've got the hinges on it. I really like the way the hinges have come, and I've put the clasp on it. And it's now down to making sure I decorate it all up. And I'm going to do a mixture of flowers and a bit of industrial. Got some pipes left over from what I did last time, and I'm also making some flowers now. And I'm doing the flowers in exactly the same way as I did the pipes. I'm just using some of this air dry clay, pushing it into this mould, making sure I get it into all the bits. I love this air dry clay because this overnight, this will be completely dry and ready to use. Going over it with my finger a little bit with a dibble dabble of water, scraping it off so it's nice and get all the details, and then I shall just leave it in there to dry up overnight. So I've got this nice thick twine, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting some around this box. I've also made out of some thinner twine these little loop pipes as well, which I plan to put on the box. And then on top will be the flowers and the pipes. I'm going to cut each one separately because I want to make sure that it's not wound round in like a spiral. I want it to be each one individual. And to stop that unwinding, I'm going to pop a little bit of hot glue on the end there. Run a bead of glue along that using my trusty hot glue gun. Isn't that cool? And then follow it all the way around and then join the two together. All my flowers now are dry, which is great, so they're ready to go on. My twine is all on, and I did the little circly bits all the way around as well. I'm liking how this came out. I've put a little rim of the thinner twine on here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do some really quite random, abstracty, let's say, twirly twine on here all over. And the easiest way I've found to do that is by hot glue gunning it. Hot glue gun works really well with the twine. All I'm going to do is do some twirls, put my twine on where I've done those bits, and that will stick in there nice. So I've got my string on there now as me under bit, and now I'm just popping the flowers on, and I've put the four corners on. And what I'm going to do is just randomly, if I don't drop them and break them all, because they are a bit fragile at the moment, popping in small one. Again, I've got no real set pattern of where I want to pop these small ones. I just want to pop them in or put them in. I keep using the word pop. Sounds like I'm going to explode. But putting those wooden popsicle sticks in, you get that nice shutty sound. Shutty. I'm sure that is probably not a word. I think that should be enough now. I've got my paint mixed up now, and it's just some black paint, which is the black acrylic paint. And I've mixed it up with some water as well, because I want this first coat to go on to be quite a runny coat. Now, I think it's probably going to be better to do that with a smaller brush first coat. I want to paint it all over and make sure that there is no white or cardboard colour showing at all anywhere. The black top coat is all dry now, and I gave it 2 coats to make sure it was really nicely covered. And I also painted the inside red. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give it a bit of texture, and to make it pop a little bit, I'm going to dry brush a little bit of silver over it. And dry brushing is really easy. You just fill your brush up like this, knock that off, and then just go over the top, and it picks up wherever you touch it. And the same for the sides, and this will pick up on any of the little bits that are lifted by the paper mache that we've put round it. And the same for the sides and the bits that I put on here that I've done out of the jute. Now, if you haven't got jute as well, you could always use string. This is what I would consider to be the highlight. I'm then going to put some low lights in it as well, because I like the look of low lights. Now I've got the silver on it, I'm just going to go over it with a little bit of gold paint, doing exactly the same thing. Now I'm not going to wash my brush out because that'll blend in with that silver anyway, and I'm not going to put loads on. Bit of this on all the way around, and then I'm going to do the same with some brilliant white. Well, we're all finished now. It's all nice and glossy. I've cleaned all the hinges up where I did get paint on it because I knew I would. I've also popped in the top some ribbons as well, so the back doesn't flip over completely when you open it. If you'd like to check out my other videos on other boxes I've made, I'll link the playlist at the end of this one. If you'd like to buy me a coffee just to say thank you and help support this channel, it's really appreciated. And the link for that, along with the link for everything that I've used today, can be found in the description below. Don't forget, boot that thumbs up. It really helps my video get out there. And make sure that you subscribe and ring my bell so you get notifications when I've got another video coming out. Take care. Enjoy your crafting. Bye.